We're back for session 2 with Ash Harrison. Um, so 2009, you're a shop owner now, and how did that change life as a vest pocket to life as a shop owner?
Well, most people will probably recall that in 2008, we had a boom in the gold world. Just about everywhere you could see, we buy gold everywhere. Well, at the time, a good friend of mine, Tom Palmer, I had worked with him to have him come up from Florida and work for another dealer here locally, and he was going out buying gold for that dealer, and he well, let's just say that they did not, they just clashed a little bit, and so Tom was going to make a change, and he decided to part ways, and he had all this knowledge of gold and where to buy it, and the customers that he was dealing with for this guy, they really did not want to deal with anybody but Tom. He had established that relationship, and they were like, wherever you go, I'm going. Well, Tom was really looking hard, and so I decided, well, we'll go and start a business. And in 2000, late 2000, no, in May of 2008, we started this business, or opened a brick and mortar, let's just say, here in this location. And we started buying gold, and we put that together with the coin business, and that turned out to be very lucrative. We were breaking even within the month. So that really got us started, and we bought gold through 2011, and that's when, of course, it started tanking again. We did really well through that time, but thank goodness I had a really solid base of coin business, and when the gold rolled off and went back from 1800 and change to 1100 or so, the coin business really took over. So that was really how it got started. It was hectic. We were doing large amounts of gold, and we had to establish relationships with gold refiners, and that is quite a challenge. And but we made it through it, and we've held on to still do that to this day.
Right. Now, you said that one of the shops that you used to frequent had been started in 1955, and so there has obviously been shops in this area for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Has that led to a number of good coins being in the local area? Is there any? Do you have any good stories about stuff that's walked in the door?
Absolutely. We've had several really interesting items come in. I mean, something comes in every day that is different. Unquestionably, it's one of the great things about being a dealer in the coin world is nothing stays the same. There are things that always are the same, and then nothing stays the same. It's something new every day. Three things come to mind really quickly. We've had the first story that comes to mind is in, I don't know what year it was. It was probably around 2012. David Cooley, who is one of my employees, and we bought foreign coins for the first 4 or 5 years. We really had no knowledge of foreign coins. We just didn't. And stuff would come in, and we would see it, and if it was silver, we paid silver for it, and if it was not, we bought it for about $4 a pound. And we have another guy that works here, Bob Klipstein. Bob would make a joke about David buying foreign coins. He said, if a Watangi crown walked in the door, you would pay $10 for it. So, and David was like, no, I wouldn't. And he's like, what's a Watangi crown? And so we had to look it up. and it turns out that it's a British crown made in 1935, and it has a couple of guys shaking hands on the back, and it's like the British admiral or something shaking hands with this guy Watangi.
I'll show everybody a picture of that here on the iPad. It's a pretty rare coin. Only a little over 1,100 were produced.
So one day, and David was like determined that he would find one, and of course a year passes, and he's in there and walks in the door, a guy with a bunch of coins, and he's flipping through there, and he's like, his mouth drops open. And I was in another part of the room, and he walked over to me, and he said, "Do you know what that is?" And I looked, I said, "I have no idea." He said, "That's a Watangi crown." I went, "Oh my gosh." So we we told the guy that we would buy the coin outright. We weren't sure if it was good. We had no idea if it was legitimate, nothing. The guy had no idea what it was. It was just in some coins that his mother or grandmother got. And we said, we looked up what they were selling for, and they were all over the board depending on grade. And we had no idea what it would grade. We didn't know if it was real, nothing. We said, we'll do this. We'll either buy it for a percentage, we'll put it in an auction if it's good, and sell it and we'll take 10%, or we'll give you $700 for it right now. And he was like, "Give me the $700. I'm making a total windfall on this. You guys make whatever you want." We got the coin. We sent it in. It graded mint state 62. We got it back. We had it for about a year, and we sold it for like $6,000. We gave the guy some more money. He was absolutely stunned that we did that, but that was a really interesting item because it walked in the door after being like professed. That was one of the stories.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah. So the next thing that was interesting, a gentleman came in and sold us a bunch of gold and silver one day, and he says, "I have a couple of other coins my father gave me, and I can bring them up here and let you see them if you'd like to." And he had a iPad, and he showed us a picture, and I looked at it, and it was a picture of a double pan pack set. Now, there weren't 12. I think there were 12 of those made, and I think only 6 were sold. And it's a pan pack set in the frame. If you've ever seen one, they're like purple velvet, and the double set has 2 of each coin, so you can have one up and one down, so they face up and face down like they used to do the mint sets from 50 to 58. So it was 2 of every coin. So there was 2 of the octagon 50s, 2 of the round 50s, so on and so forth, down to 2 of the halves. And so he brought it back, and I said, "I'm going to have to study this thing for a little bit to see what it might be worth." And I looked at it, and I was cranking out numbers because these coins were gorgeous. And I thought, he'll come back and it'll be some sort of a, collector souvenir set. No, it was the real deal. And so we ended up flying to Heritage and taking it in. They took the set apart, sent them in the NGC, got them graded. They graded really well. They all the way up to 66. And we worked out a deal with the guy that we would buy the set. We'd buy we'd just take and do the sale and take 4%, and we did, and we were really pleased. I think the set sold for something in the $560,000 set.
So they sold it intact as a double set?
Well, they sold it as individual items, one after another, including the frame. One of the interesting things about the frame, on the back of the frame, Fair and Zerby had those sets commissioned, and we've looked at the frame, and this frame had not been disturbed since it was made, I suspect. And on the back of it, I want to say there was some sort of a sticker from where it was originally sold, and but on the very bottom of the frame there was a sticker, and uh, it was numbered Z0001, and we weren't sure whether that was the first set or whether that was just something for a label. But anyway, when we sold this, they auctioned the frame, and the frame sold for $18,000 all by itself, no coins in it. So that was pretty interesting.
Wow.
The third thing that was pretty fun, the guys buy gold and silver all day, every day, and people walk in and they'll have, just a little bag of coins. And this lady came in and dumped out a bag of coins, and there were, mercury dimes and cents and, the normal stuff that you see every day. And there was a gold coin with a hole in it. It was a $1 gold. Had a hole in it, and so the guys bought it for whatever melt, $40 or $50 at the time. And it sat in a box on the front of my desk for at least a year. And I was cleaning my desk off one day, and I looked at the coin. I went, wow, that's kind of neat. And I picked it up, and it had some engraving on it. And we have a picture of the coin here, but it was engraved by it was Jeb Stewart, and I believe he might have been a colonel at the time, but anyway, lieutenant general, maybe that's what it was. Anyway, he was a general in the Civil War, and a very famous one. And this coin, there was no way to, give it provenance. A gentleman came into our shop, and we showed it to him, and he was a Civil War buff. And he says, I want to say I've seen this thing before. And we were like, what, are you kidding? I mean, this is just a coin we have lying around the shop. He came back a week later, and he had a book. And the book had a picture of that coin, the coin, on the end of a watch fob. And Jeb Stewart had given the thing to a little girl when he was, it was 6 months or so before he was killed in the war. But he had actually given the thing to a girl, and it managed to come to our shop, not connected to the fob, but we managed to sell that coin for $10,000.
Wow.
That was somewhat of a shock. So that was a very interesting coin.
Wow.
That's some of the fun stuff that's walked in.
Yeah, it must be amazing. Do you see a lot of foreign coins here?
We do. I mean, we actually get collection. We get a collection of foreign coins just about every other week, and we've had some amazing coins come through. In fact, over the last 4 or 5 years, I've really started to like foreign coins, and my son Will has taken to it strongly, and he's somewhat of a budding expert, and he's established some relationships with some of the coin dealers around the United States and otherwise, and he's really started to get a business going doing that.
Has the shop helped you add any varieties to your collection? Have you had stuff walk in that you've been like, this is going right in my collection?
That's a great collection, a great question. The answer, though, is not really. Those coins are rare, and I go through hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars in a week, and it is just about never will I find a really rare Morgan dollar. I have found lots of varieties, but nothing super rare. So, I mean, I still hope to, do so one day, but no super VAMs have come through here. So.
Okay. Well, let's take a little break, and then I think you brought some stuff from the bank that we'll be showing in our next episode. Once again, if you're enjoying the series, please like and subscribe to our page. Thank you.